This is a film about Red Cross work in developing countries, produced by Erik Lundgren and Allan Schulman, photographed by Gunnar Kjellenius, Arne Magnusson and Gerhard Svedlund, English speaker Margareta Linander. The Red Cross idea has rapidly spread also amongst the many new states, and today the Red Cross exists in 108 countries. But 3/4 of them need help from abroad. A worldwide Red Cross program has been established for this assistance. This film tells about the work carried out by 3 Swedish Red Cross delegates. In Nigeria, Gunnar Kjellenius works as delegate for the Scandinavian countries. Our man in Kenya is Arne Magnusson. And in East Pakistan, we see how Gerhard Svedlund sets an example to make people work. Naturally, the idea is of course not that our delegate should do it himself, or that the Swedish Red Cross should do the work for their sister societies. We have seen it as our task to put at their disposal people who understand and can give good advice. It is evident that this assistance gets different expressions in different countries, as the needs are not the same in Nigeria, Kenya and East Pakistan. But the name of the common denominator is distress and suffering. Naturally, there are variations also in the suffering, and the contrasts are many. However great the general distress and the individual misfortune are, there is also everywhere space for joy and beauty, lovely clothes and white uniforms. In Nigeria, for instance, people have their Admorisa performance. It is always given in honor of a deceased member of a family. This time it is the King of Lagos, who wants to honor his dead mother. It is an enormous masquerade in the streets of the capital Lagos. And here we see the eyes in long white robes parading in front of the Oba, the king himself. Of course, the uniform is a very important and attractive dress in these countries when it comes to making the people take part in the activities. Nigeria is the giant amongst the new African nations, with a population of around 50 million. It is a country with possibilities, but also with indescribable difficulties because of tribal hostilities and political disputes. Many upheavals have taken place these last years, when Finland, Norway and Sweden together have tried to assist the Nigerian Red Cross. But the constant disturbances have hardly impeded the development of the Red Cross. One can even say that they have put the organization to many useful tests. The Red Cross was entrusted with the task of repatriating refugees returning after their exile to Dahomey, and here they come down the river in their canoes. They are taken care of by trained Red Cross people, and we see how welcome the clothes are that have been sent from the Swedish Red Cross depot in Gothenburg. It is popular in Nigeria to learn first aid and nursing. The teacher is Edith Okonkwo, who has visited Sweden in her capacity of Miss Nigeria. The pupils learn both the mouth-to-mouth method, how to treat wounds, the technique of lifting a sick person, and everything else in connection herewith. The Red Cross workers in Nigeria have many possibilities to put their learning into practice. On the islands outside Lagos, where there are no doctors, the Red Cross has a dispensary for a weekly examination of school children. The program also contains various forms of service activities for handicapped people. This Red Cross bus collects spastic children every morning to transport them to a special clinic in Lagos. Fortunately enough, young people in Nigeria enthusiastically take part in Red Cross work, and the activities are many and varied. Members of the Junior Red Cross get together in a village called Makoko to organize a big campaign to clean up compounds. Generally speaking, one can say that the Red Cross contributes in various ways to the propaganda for increased cleanliness and for more health instruction. Now and then a Red Cross instructor turns up in a school together with a Junior Red Cross member to control that the children are clean, and in such connections they always arrange some kind of competition with prizes for the youngsters who distinguish themselves especially. Young people in Nigeria also have a developed social responsibility, of which you can see many examples. We are right now in the women prison Kiri Kiri in Lagos, where the imprisoned women must have their children with them, as they would otherwise be left without care. In the prison there are no arrangements for the children. That is why the Junior Red Cross members in Lagos have, for their pocket money, bought chairs and tables for these children. The Junior Red Cross people in Sweden have old contacts with Nigeria. Thousands of Junior Red Cross members have, during dark and cold autumn evenings, been making Christmas gifts for the children in Nigeria. And it is perhaps easy to see that the Swedish gifts have been more than welcome. Kenya. This is the country about which we read in the encyclopedia. Independent state 1963, previously under British rule. Population 9,250,000. Area 225,000 square miles. Politically one of the key states under Jomo Kenyatta. The climate of Kenya is sometimes a bit fickle. The drought can be disastrous, and then big groups of the population are threatened by famine. Here is a natural working place for the Red Cross, and Red Cross workers are also sometimes known as the people who fight famine. It is indeed no luxury meals that are distributed at these feeding stations, where people sit patiently waiting for their turn to come. They get a plate or a cup of hot soup, and perhaps a cup of milk too. Not much, but enough to keep away the worst hunger. Such a meal every second day gives enough extra calories for the population to survive to the next harvest, when one hopes to get food from one's own land. There is naturally a wide scope for great achievements in the social field in Kenya. Thus, the Kenya Red Cross runs Dagoretti Home for around 100 handicapped children. In this home, 2 Swedish Junior Red Cross girls have worked previously, and our delegate, Arne Magnusson, keeps up the contact. Here he is seen, handing over some gifts from the Swedish Red Cross. A sewing machine will be used at the sewing courses arranged for the older girls. The needs amongst these children are naturally great, and the Swedish Red Cross therefore remembers them regularly, also with clothes and other material. To call East Pakistan the land of disasters is absolutely no exaggeration. Each year the country is hit by violent inundations and cyclones, which entail the loss of tens and hundreds of thousands of human lives, and these disasters are followed by epidemics of various kinds. Therefore, the Swedish Red Cross decided in 1965 to assist the East Pakistan Red Cross in building up a disaster preparedness in order to lessen in various ways the effects of the unavoidable catastrophes. Life on the river might to a foreigner seem picturesque and idyllic, but when the heavy rains start up in the Himalaya mountains, it is difficult to think of the countryside as idyllic. The water rises rapidly in big areas, and in the end only the roofs of the houses are seen above the water. Often the water comes so quickly that people hardly have time to take along with them their most necessary belongings. If they are lucky, they might get away from their homes holding on to specially built handrails, but sometimes they must be transported away by boat. They take refuge in schools or camps on higher situated ground, and sometimes they have to wait for several weeks before the water recedes. The number 2 enemy is the cyclone, which is created over the Bay of Bengal. The coastal line just outside East Pakistan has the form of a funnel, and the cyclone is literally sucked in by this funnel over the coast. It destroys everything in its way. It fells trees, demolishes bridges, destroys buildings and throws boats high up on land. Here the Red Cross has self-evident tasks to accomplish. This truck, donated by the Swedish Red Cross, is loaded already at dawn for transportation to an inundated area higher up in the country, or to a boat that will leave for one of the islands hit by a cyclonic wave. The children must above all quickly get milk and vitamins. The population must be inoculated against all the epidemics that are a great threat after the disaster. And this work is just as important whether it concerns the areas hit by inundation higher up in the country or the coastal areas hit by a cyclone. But this assistance is only a small beginning. What is now being planned is a disaster preparedness of pioneering character. The population must be warned by a system based on weather radar, which makes it possible to warn people in time by directed radio emissions, so that they can take refuge in specially built storm-proof shelters. More depots will also be built where disaster material can be stored to make it possible to give assistance to people in distress, even when airfields and ports are underwater. The population here must get help. East Pakistan certainly belongs to the worst hit countries of the world. Over and over again, people have to rebuild their houses, and they have to go through the very bitter experience of more and more people turning away from them because their needs are too great. Disasters strike too often. You have seen some examples of the development assistance given by the Swedish Red Cross. The cooperation existing between the sister societies all over the world is expressed in many ways. Ultimately, this Red Cross activity is help given by a human being to a human being. For us to carry on our development program demands much, not only of our delegates in developing countries. It requires the same degree of feeling, patience, and readiness to help of you who are looking at this film.